Welcome to Subramani. Today I'm answering another question, again a longish question. So this is again on housing. Okay, so it says thanks for the guidance you provide in emails and on your website and on your blogs. I have enjoyed learning with you. So my single biggest question about money is this: is a home purchase in all cases really a bad idea? I will give you my details. We purchased our home 6 months ago during the lockdown when a builder was offering us a good discount, and we had the stamp duty concession given by the Maharashtra government for a house for rupees 1.05 crores. We used a variable interest and which has got us 7.25%, and I am now hearing that it can go down to 6.99%. It is a 30-year loan. I have obviously done some down payment. I have furnished the house, and I did not pay any other fee. The origination fees was also waived by HDFC. I think it is way more than what my parents thought I would spend on a house, but then I succumbed to pressure, and now I have bought it. The advantage is it's only about half a mile or about half a kilometer from my wife's place of work, and for me it is a slightly longer distance. Maybe I travel about 30 minutes. That's not too bad in Pune, given Pune traffic. Our payments are about 51,000 per month, that is the EMI, and I make about 25 lakhs a year. My wife makes about 13 lakhs a year. Our home is perfectly suited in a major growth area of Pune, and although I realize there are no guarantees, real estate has been beaten down so much that my builder tells me, I understand he has a vested interest, that it is estimated to climb in the range of 6 to 7% over the next 18 to 20 months. Simply because of the price being already beaten down so much. As for renting, the best available deal is for rupees 30,000 a month, which is obviously less than the EMI that I am paying, but still not far too less because it's about 3.6% for 1 crore house, which is about almost 4%, 3.5%. Of course, there will be society charges, which I am not considering because it's not in my interest to consider. So I know that financial experts are down on home ownership these days. You yourself have done videos. However, every time I look at my numbers, I see that I have almost complied to whatever you said in your 3, 20, 30, 40 rule. I just cannot see how buying this was a bad idea versus paying high rent. Also, my wife has painted one wall in the bedroom and she enjoys painting, so she's using the wall as a place for herself to paint. I don't know whether my landlord would have allowed this. And for the full financial picture, I'm 34 years of age, I've got a kid, and my wife is 30 years of age, and we started investing a few years ago. I still have about 20 lakhs in my retirement account. I also have about some money in my PPF. I have some money in my NPS, and I have no credit card debt. I have no student loan, car loan. Everything has been paid off. My car is only 4 years old, so another 6 years, 7 years, I don't think I'll get a new car. The only debt I have is this mortgage, and I definitely feel maybe I'm late in the game and I have to make up for lost time, but I'm also pleased with the progress in a not very long period of time because I started earning a little late. I hope it was not too much of a question, and you can please answer this. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Okay, thanks Arvind. I like the question, first of all. And I do think that owning a house is not a bad idea, but remember, living in a house, using it well, furnishing it, and doing it exactly as per your needs and requirements having your second kid in that house, and all that is fine, as long as you do not think of this as an investment. Don't think it's something which you have moved into and 30 years later it would have appreciated by 8% and 9% and things like that. That may not happen. So first of all, it is a good house. You bought it, you're happy with the purchase, and you paid a lesser stamp duty. Great. Be happy with what you have, and I'm happy that you have complied with almost all the rules of 3 and 20, 30, 40. That is because you're earning well also. You and your spouse both are earning well. So, but let me tell you, the minute I say this house is not a good investment, there will be a lot of people who will come and say, my father bought this house for 30,000, he sold it last week for 1.7 crores. How are you saying it's not a good investment? Actually, if you put it down in Excel and you see the amount of money that you would have paid as society charges, etc., it would not give you a great return. It would give you a return of 3% or 4%. Maybe it give you 6%. I'm not saying anything about that, but there are certain locations where it would have gone up. Unfortunately, in this country, we do not have an index telling you how much property prices have gone up in which place. So we do not have an answer. We have only anecdotal stories saying my great grandfather bought it here, or my grandfather brought it here and it has gone up so much. Marine Drive is such a good place. Yes, but in Mira Road you would have lost money. That is the problem. We do not have good quality indices capturing returns over 30, 40 years. So we just don't have that kind of data. So what will you do guessing? Also, I'll get a lot of emails or messages today saying you're an idiot, you have no clue how much real estate is actually doing well. Those emails do not annoy me because getting people to a different point of view is not easy. So first of all, I'm very happy that you have bought a house and you have done this exercise of finding out how much is the rental cost and why you buying. There's the stamp duty concession, what is the return that you're going to get, what is the EMI, and looks very comfortable given your salary and your wife's salary, right? I'm sure you have taken adequate term insurance so that in case something happens to you or to her, the other person is not saddled with the EMI without the income. So as long as you do that and you're successful in what you're doing, and the fact that you've paid off all your student loan, car loan, or you maybe never had a student loan, whatever, that details I don't have. So it does not really bother me. And but let us go back to some hard data, and for data you will have to go back to US. You cannot go back. India does not have that kind of quality data. So if you go to Schiller says from 18, let me just quote, and Schiller is a Yale economist and he has done some study, and he says from 1890 to 2012, the inflation adjusted return on residential real estate was 0.17%. which means if you bought a house for 5,000 rupees or dollars in 1890, it would be worth 6,150 in 2012. Over the same period, the stock market returned an inflation adjusted return of 6.27%, which means if you had invested $5,000, it would be worth 8 million, right? So this is Schiller's data, and that is why I don't ever include my house as my investment. It's a place which I need to live here, right? I need a car to go around, so I own a car. I need a shirt to wear, so I own a shirt. It is a usage asset. It's like your golf kit, or it's like your tennis racket. Yes, good, nice things, but you do not expect to make money from a used racket or from a golf kit, right? You don't, that's all. So if you take the 1960s and 70s, people would use a car for 10 years and sell it at the same price. It sounds like a joke today. So 70 years back, what happens if your house does not appreciate and is selling at more or less the same price at which you bought, right? Because better buildings with better amenities are available. So 50, 60 years is how long you live in a house. So after that, if you can't get any resale value because land in that place is not appreciated, believe me, all these things are possible. We're trying to guess over very long periods of time. Now, another thing is people say real estate, it's not a fair comparison because you get leverage. Now, remember that leverage also hurts, because if your rate of appreciation of the house is not as much as the rate of interest that you're paying, then it's a poor investment. If you have borrowed money at 7.25% and the appreciation in this is 6%, then you have not really gained too much. If the appreciation is far greater than 7.25%, then I can agree. The third argument which people put is to say, you buy a house only once, so buy a big house, buy a 3 BHK. This you have bought a 3 BHK when actually you may not need a 3 BHK. Anyway, so be it. So buying a big house could be the biggest impediment to your retirement planning. Think of the alternatives that you could have done with the money. You could have invested it, you could have done some business with it, whatever. It could have been the capital which you require to do some business, consulting business or something. So that is the opportunity cost that you have to consider. You have to consider the inflation adjusted cost. Then there are people who will say, I'm sick of throwing money at my landlord, and what happens if he keeps asking me to change my house every 6 months. Well, in this case, it has not happened. He has actually lived for 8 years in one house, and when he was leaving, his landlord was not very happy. Landlord thought he's a good guy to have around, but anyway, that is different. I don't think this house is a bad idea, because first of all, I'm very happy that you thought through the process of why to buy a house and when to buy a house, and you have a kid, so you bought a house near a good school. All these things are important. You have applied your mind, you have not overbought, you have not bought in a place which you can't afford, and both husband and wife are earning well. You've taken adequate term insurance for sure, and so you're prepared for any eventualities. I want that. I want application of mind. I don't want people to buy a house because my father told me, my father-in-law told me, if I don't buy a house, I can't get married. These are not reasons to buy a house. You have thought through the process. That itself is good. You've complied to all the 30, 20, 30, 40 rules, 3, 20, 30, 40 rules, which means you've applied. I'm fine with that. Thank you.